Hi, and welcome back to Real Talk. I'm the First Lady Phoebe. Joining me is Tim, and we're here in the kitchen again to give you some food for thought. I want you to listen with your ears and with your heart. Our first statement will go to the Jamaican community. Tim, what would you like to say?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I retract my statement in regards to the Ponzi scheme and the Jamaican boy scheme. I used wrong wordage. Both of them are schemes, but they're uniquely different, though they both end up taking your money away. That is the point that I was trying to make. And so many things are mislabeled these days. And one of the things that are bothering me about this mislabeling is that you call us Black or Americans or you call us African Americans. First of all, that is an insult. It is also a misnomer. We cannot be called two continents. Secondly, we are the indigenous Niji of this country. We are the American Indians. We do deserve a certain amount of respect. We have been fighting and living in this land for over 400, 500 years. We are the original people. And if you address us, should you address us, I think it's only befitting that you take that mislabel away and you address us as the indigenous Niji or as an American Indian. As I said before, Black is devoid of color. It is a social status. African American is a misnomer. We are the original people of this land. Let's not, instead of picking at each other, why not work with us to help educate all melanated people as to their true histories?
That's right. I agree with Tim wholeheartedly. If we would just stop nitpicking with each other, we could have a broader understanding of the mislabeling that's going on with us in particular. You all and a lot of other immigrants and foreigners think of us as African Americans, think of us that we all came from somewhere else, and we didn't. We didn't come from somewhere else. We were always here. We are the American Indians. We are the indigenous Niji. Indigenous Niji is what we called ourselves. American Indian is what some of the foreigners called us in the beginning of time. We weren't calling each other Indians per se. We used the word Niji. That's our word.
That's an affectionate term.
Absolutely. And it described all the people here in the Americas, north, south, east, and west, all over. Nijis are us, and we have to start describing ourselves as that if we want others to describe us as that as well. So I'm here to tell my people to stop calling yourselves Black. Stop calling yourselves African American. You're so much greater than that. You are the indigenous Niji. You are a person of this land. That makes you strong. That makes you a person who can walk with their head up higher because this is yours and you're loaning it out and being gracious with others. So we're here to clarify our position. We are not racist. We are not prejudiced.
No.
We misspoke, but there's a lot of misspeaking and mislabeling because of the miseducation in our systems. So let's re-educate each other.
And she's absolutely right. We have to start by re-educating ourselves and knowing exactly who we are. We know who we are. We want our people to know who they are. We have a long, luscious, fantastic, great, strong history. There's no reason why you should not be proud of the fact that you are an indigenous Niji and should insist that any other foreigner or immigrant speak to you in that way.
Exactly. They don't tolerate us speaking to them or mislabeling them, then let's not tolerate them mislabeling us. It starts with us.
We have so many beautiful prime examples and empowering examples that will show you, that will let you know why you are so great, why you're so unique, and why you should create from within. Phoebe, why don't you tell us about a few of the Nietzsche who have done great, fantastic things?
Yes, and this is all us, honey. We invented the telephone transmitter, the railroad system, the subway system, the roller coaster, and so much more. This was invented by Dr. Granville T. Woods. Mr. Granville was not only a patent owner of 100 electrical and mechanical inventions, but he had his patents purchased by General Electric, Westinghouse, Bell, and Thomas Edison. In fact, Thomas Edison tried to steal his invention twice, and he successfully sued him because this brother had patents. Moving on, we invented the dry cleaning system, which was invented in 1821 by a brother by the name of Thomas Jennings. Thomas Jennings owned a dry cleaning business in New York City and was the first Nietzsche in the United States granted a patent after the foreigners came over here and, things like that. But before, we were inventing things and we didn't need a patent. We've always been inventors.
Are you all listening to this? Are you really getting this food? We are a great, strong people. We have been fighting these colonizers. We have been fighting a simulation for well over 300 years, way before the Constitution in 1776 was even written. We have been at war with them, in fact, continuously.
Let me give you some history on the war. America's real longest war was and is the war against the indigenous Americans. It's called the American Indian War. It's characterized by historians to begin in 1609 and end in 1924, and it was all for land sweeps. Now, me and Tim say the war is still going on because it's a war on our mindsets.
That's
now.
Right. The war won't be televised.
The revolution will never be televised.
No, not the real one.
It's a war on our identities. We cannot accept this narrative that we're Black or African American because we are not that. We are the true Nietzsches of this land. We come in various shades, colors, and complexions.
We're great people. We have created everything. We are the economic backbone of this country. The reason why this country is still running is because of the indigenous Nietzsche who have produced, created everything. They even took our form of government to create their own government. They learned everything from us and then used it against us.
Let's explain that to you. When the foreigners came over from Britain, let's say, they had kings and queens. There was no such thing as a chief. Over here, they replicated our systems and made themselves commander-in-chiefs, made themselves these things that we already had outlined. We already had a system of things. You know, what was dubbed as the Black Wall Street, which is a misnomer.
It's a misnomer, we found out.
There were indigenous Wall Streets, so-called, because it was an economic system that we had.
Economic base.
A base that we created for ourselves and our people.
That was greater than the colonizers.
Yes, and it wasn't just in Tulsa, honey. It was all over the Americas.
It was Los Angeles, it was New York, it was Detroit, it was Chicago, St. Louis, parts of Philadelphia, all those areas now that we call urban areas.
Absolutely. Arizona, you name it, we all had economic floors and faculties for ourselves. What was dubbed as the Black Wall Street had 600 businesses, 21 churches, 21 restaurants, 30 grocery stores, 2 movie theaters, 6 private airplanes, plus hospitals, banks, post offices, schools, libraries, law offices, and even their own bus system. And this wasn't just in Tulsa. This was in all the states that we mentioned all over the United States. We had our own economic system and communities.
That were thriving communities. Listen to me. They were thriving communities. And people such as Edison, people like J. Paul Getty, people like
J.P.
Morgan Chase
funded these schools and universities to miseducate us.
That's right.
To make us think that we're African Americans or that this isn't our land, when it's obvious that we had an economic floor before this miseducation.
Why don't you tell us about some more of what we've done? Because I think that if you see more of us and the contributions that we have made, not only to society, but to the world, I think you'll be so empowered, you'll be so proud.
That you won't want to call yourself black anymore.
Or African American.
Because indigenous Negies did this. And remember, just because Google says African American or black does not make it right.
No.
Remember that this forum was made by the foreigners. So it's only going to know so much. We have to ask the right questions.
That's right.
And we have to do some deep research.
You have to do your research.
You have to.
It's very important. Yeah, it's imperative that you do so now. But we want you to have a great sense of pride. We're only bringing you this because we're on the love vibration. We're all spiritually tied to each other. That first universal law, the law of oneness.
Yes.
Well, we're the ones that are going to let you know who you are. Phoebe, give us some more examples of.
I surely will. I can't fit them all in this segment, but I'll give you as many examples as I can because Auntie and Uncle are here to tell you that, baby, you are empowered and nobody can tell you otherwise.
That's right.
All
No
right.
one should be able to. You're a great. You come from a very great people, very strong, peaceful, sensible people, a loving people.
Man, we invented the trolley car power system, the first traffic light, the 3 light traffic light I told you about last time, the pencil sharpener, the street sweeper trucks, the cotton and corn seed planter, the strong box and common dustpan that we use today, the mailbox that I told you about, the automatic elevator doors, the first clothes dryer, the fire escape ladder, okay? The fire extinguisher.
Didn't we even have the largest insurance company?
Oh yes,
in the
we
world?
sure did. Let me
Yes.
tell you about that.
Sure.
We had the largest insurance company in the world, Craig.
Are
Not
you
just
listening?
the city,
Are you
the world.
the largest?
Honey, it was by C.C. Spalding. And Mr. Spalding is the leader of the group of the people who built the strongest and most vast insurance company. We're not just limited to State Farm.
State Farm,
And
Jake
at State Farm,
in a polo.
we invented these things.
We invented these things, and now they relegated us down to Jake
At
State Farm.
And that illusion of inclusion is supposed to satisfy us.
Come on,
No.
people. Come on.
We're
We've
much
got to
powerful.
be stronger. We have to join together. We have to have a solidation. We have to be.
Create solidarity.
That's right. We have to. We have to build this community. We owe it to our
ourselves.
ancestors, to ourselves, to the long legacy of all the inventors and all the warriors and all the chiefs and all the mothers and fathers and so on and so forth who came before us. We're in the 21st century.
Can you believe that during the American wars that we were inventing things even during
We were
these
still
wars?
inventing and creating. That's why we tell you, You have to go within.
And we have to go further than this wholesale and side
Sure.
hustle stuff.
Oh,
we
please.
are creators. Do you know that the first woman in indigenous culture was a sculptor?
Yes.
There was a sculptor, and she was the first woman to get so many patents from the U.S. government.
We were painters. We were poets. We were so many things that create the fabric of society. We were great, and we want you to know. We want you to feel good about who you are. You've learned something. We're learning. And as we learn, we're going to share with you.
Yes.
We're never going to bring you any bullshit. We're not going to deal with any. We're coming to you with love and with truth. And we want to empower each one of us. We are great people. We are the indigenous Niji of this land.
100%. We're not mixed with anything else.
They stole our land. Let's stand up and we can take it back.
Realize how long it took them to steal our land. It took 13 years to steal our land. And we're still at war mentally. It took all this time. It takes hundreds of millions of dollars to keep us down mentally. Let's stop funding this madness.
That's right.
Let's stop condoning this social status. It's a rat race.
That's right.
Black is a race. It's black against white, this against that. You are indigenous to this land. We are not against each other. We are for the melanated people, but we're here to remind our people of who we are. We have forgotten, but no more. No more. You know now. You know now. We've known all along. All this evidence is just confirmation of what we've known. We knew we weren't from Africa. We always knew that somewhere intuitively. Well, now we're here to give you black and white evidence. No, you're not from Africa. And not only that, you're not black. You're not just a social status.
No.
Everybody wants to be black these days.
Another mislabel.
Okay?
Another mislabel.
Okay? Everybody who
upon
comes over here, if they're your complexion, they want to be black. Where does that leave us? We need our own identities. Your identity is indigenous Niji. Look this stuff up. It's something to feel good about.
You know, we're sovereign beings. It's all about being sovereign, being who you really, really are. And once you find out, I mean, it feels so great. It feels so good to know that I'm a Shawnee, that I have a long legacy of chiefs and of inventing and creating. And in fact, I am still the very fabric, the very ground that we all live on.
Of this nation.
You know, I didn't have to go fight for the flag. I'm fighting for our land, for the indigenous lands that were stolen by the colonizers. I'm here to help us heal, for us to be empowered, to take our place in history as a great race of people also.
I'm proud to be a Cherokee, a strong warrior, a strong chief. Women were chiefs as well. And you should be proud to be exactly who you are, a person of this land. Please do not refer to yourself as something that you're not. Okay? If we want to affect some change,
we have to start with ourselves.
With our own identities. Pass me that water.
Okay. As I said before, we love you. We're always here for you. We want more of you all to drop a line. Tell us what you think about this video. Tell us how it has empowered you. And go back, ask your family members, do the research. Remember, the algorithm is very tricky, so you have to be specific and you have to know what questions to ask. But if you've noticed from all the inventions and the things we created, I guess we were very educated even before the colonizers were, weren't we?
See? And that means
we had our own form of education.
And that means that slavery was a misnomer. That means that you were smart even during tough times.
That's
There was
right.
no 400 years of slave, 300 years. That didn't exist. That didn't exist. Our people have always been hardworking people and who have made the times work. When times changed, we changed. But we can't lose our identity in this change. We have to stay true to who we are. That's the only way we can demand respect. That's the only way we can move further in this society. We need to get some laws on our side, some indigenous Niji laws. The last treaties that were made to the American Indians. Call yourself American Indians. They owe you. This is your land, okay? How can you get something if you don't know what to ask for?
That's right. That's exactly right. Well, we want to leave them with some words before we leave.
Yes, we love you and we want you to know that this is yours. We want others to know that we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. And we also want to tell you to please check out the links in the description box below. Subscribe, like, and share this video with any and everybody that you know. And we'll have more information for you. We can't give it all to you in this segment, but we've made our points, and we hope that you receive them with your heart. And we hope that you can change your minds, change this paradigm, change the narrative. It's just so much I want to say.
Well, how about this? What does Jay-Z and Pharrell say?
Jay-Z said, the motivation for me is them telling me what I cannot be.
That's right.
Oh, well.
Uh-huh.
Let's be ambitious.
That's right. I'm ambitious.
Yes.
Okay, I'm ambitious to know who I am. I'm proud of who I am. And if you believe it,
you can achieve it.
You can achieve it.
Just conceive it.
That's all you have to do. It all comes from within. Until next time, you all.
We love you. And we'll see you soon.
Peace out.
Hey.